iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to playoff race number 3 for the American Sim Racing Club Sportsman Series. I am in the booth with my brother Carson. I am Brett the Jet here from Turn 3 Racing Network. Carson, you want to say hi?
Hello, Brett. I am excited tonight. Penultimate race of the playoffs here at Auto Club Speedway. We saw some great action and some wild racing last week, and we should see more here tonight, I assume.
Yeah, it should be awesome, Carson. We've seen some a little bit of domination from the top of the red division, but we'll see if anyone can challenge Dan Parmley here tonight, and we'll see if we can have a different winner for round number 3. Because I tell you what, Carson, these guys are coming out here and giving it them all because they know the championship is closing. They're running out of time to try and catch that 710 car.
Yeah, Brett, we'll have to see if anyone can really make a run at him. I think it'll be hard to do based on what we saw in the last 2 rounds of the playoffs here, Brett.
Yeah, I agree, Carson. It's going to be an uphill battle for the rest of these drivers. And, Carson, we got quite a few kind of newcomers to the playoffs here tonight to add another wrench in things. So it's going to be awesome, and it's going to be a good race here at Auto Club, Carson. Another dynamic track.
I love a good dynamic track, Brett. You know that.
Yeah, it puts on some great racing, that is for sure. We'll check out the standings here in practice. And, Carson, once again, Dan Parmley at the top of the board. Hayden Swank, though, right on top of him in second. Third goes to Tanner Tallarico. Ron Hart looking pretty strong in fourth. And Tommy Haynes rounds out your top 5. And, Carson, once again, a big gap to the next red and blue division drivers for these playoffs compared to Dan Parmley. A little bit further down in the time and scoring, we got Nathan Henry leading the blue division of the playoff drivers here with that 59 machine. The fastest actual blue division driver, I believe, is the 56 of John Wimbish. So We will have to keep an eye out, see what people can do here in qualifying here in about 20 seconds, folks. So don't go anywhere. We'll be covering qualifying.
Sorry, Brett. Internet cord popped out there. What I miss?
Not too much. We're just getting ready for qualifying. Carson, who do you think will get tonight's pole?
Well, I got booted from the session, Brett, so I can't see the scoring and the standings right now. But I think Dan Parmley's probably a safe bet. How about you?
Yeah, Carson, it will be hard to bet against him, but we got the one machine of Tanner Tallarico. If he decides to take a lap, it's hard to bet against him. As we will wait for cars to hit the track here in qualifying, we'll see who can go to the top of the board. We'll go look at the 86 machine of John Sanu. Currently in that Blue Division Championship hunt. We'll see where he can put the Luke Transport number 86 machine here as he gets up to speed down the backstretch and into turn 3 and 4 here. At the start finish line, he will start his first time lap. We'll have to see where these drivers pick their lines, because usually here at Auto Club it's kind of weird. You run the high side in 1 and 2, carry that momentum, and then 3 and 4 you drive it down to that inside white line. So we'll see different lines here even being used in qualifying. As the 86 machine, I think, got a little bit tight there off in turn number 2. We'll see how he can navigate turn number 4. There's one bad bump right here in the middle of the corner, really upsets these cars, so you got to make sure you miss that bump if you want these cars to handle well. As Eric Papanow, first one to put in a time so far at the top of the board. John Sanu goes P number 5 as Ron Hart just beats out Eric Papanow. As John Sanu goes down the backstretch for the final time here in qualifying. He'll try and pick up a little bit of pace here. And Dan Parmley, lap number 1, not super quick. We'll have to see if lap number 2 is the money lap or if the first lap's where it's at. As John Sanu comes off of turn number 4, heads down to the start finish line. We'll see if he can improve that time for the 86 machine. And he does, but it does not change his position. We'll go now look at the 59 machine of Nathan Henry. He is on his first time lap. We'll see where this Blue Division driver can put himself in the starting field. Carson, how are you looking getting back to the track here?
Brett, I'm almost loaded in, so I'll be back here shortly.
All right, we love to hear it. As Tommy Haynes goes P number 3 as they run. Still Ron Hart to the top of the board. We'll see where Nathan Henry can go. Lap number 1, the 59 machine goes P number 9 as Michael Sturgill goes to the top of the board. He is the quick time so far here with about 2 minutes left in the session. Nathan Henry heading down the backstretch for the final time here in the 59 machine for qualifying. He'll try and look to do a little bit better, but so far, the best of the Blue Division playoff drivers as they stand. As his second time lap, the 59 machine will not improve, so he will stay P number 9. And it looks like, for the most part, no other cars out on track. One notable that has not qualified, the 28 of Kyle Munson, has not been out on track yet for qualifying. As Tanner Tallarico goes P number 2. On that lap, he'll just beat out Ron Hart, but Michael Sturgill still a 10th over those drivers as we see that one car coasting on, cooling on down here, and he will stick to the outside front row. But the pole time will go to Michael Sturgill in the number 90 machine. He will be the quick time here at Auto Club.
Great run there for him, Brett. And I say we should also keep an eye on Ron Hart tonight. He had a great finish there in the in your series, the late models, and we'll have to see if he can carry that momentum into tonight. He put on a show last week for us. We were watching him sliding around, so hopefully we see some action from that 051 machine.
Yeah, Ron Hart will be a force to reckon with, especially in the early part of a run. The question is, can he keep those tires underneath that 051 machine? As we will now go grid side and run through tonight's starting order. Michael Sturgill in the number 90 machine is our quick time award recipient. He will start from tonight's pole. Starting to the outside front row will be the one of Tanner Tallarico. Row number 2 will be made up of Ron Hart. To the inside with Eric Papanow in the 43 will be outside row number 2. And rounding out tonight's top 5 will be Tommy Haynes in the 17 machine. Carson, should I continue?
I can pick up from there, Brett. Starting in the 6th position is the 35 car of Hayden Swank. In 7th, it's the 951 of Brian Wilderson. Then to pick up from there in 8th, it is the 38 car of Dave Payton. In 9th place, a little far back for him. We'll have to see how he contends with running up through this field. It's the 710 of Dan Parmley. And then to round out your top 10, it's the 59 car of Nathan Henry.
Picking up from there, 11th will be John Wimbish in the 56. 12th place will be John Sanu in the 86 machine. 13th goes to John DeMeester in the Blue Deuce. 14th will be Lee Campbell in the 27. 15th will be Kyle Munson in the 28. And starting shotgun on the field will be Jeff O'Quinn in the 94 machine if he was able to make it to the starting grid. I know he was having a little bit of trouble, Carson, so not sure if he's at the starting grid or not, as these drivers will be rolling here in a second. We'll be ready to go green flag racing here from Auto Club for playoff race number 3.
And Brett, since I missed a bit of what you were saying earlier, how did the blue division standings look coming into tonight's race?
Carson, they are shaken up from last week because, as you remember, there was only 2 drivers from the blue division that ended up making the race. So it has been shaken up big time, let me tell you. I believe John Sanu is our points leader coming into tonight with John DeMeester in second in points.
Yeah, because we'll have to see with Jeff O'Quinn. This might be a pivotal race for him, so hopefully we can see him out here and challenge him for this blue division title.
Yeah, we will have to see. This won't help his campaign, though, if he does happen to miss this race. As the lights are extinguished on the iRacing pace car, we'll wait for it to head down pit road. Once again, we had Nick Fleury win last week. This week, he's in the pace car once again, as Nick Fleury will make the hard left-hand turn down pit road, and we'll wait on the 90 machine of Michael Sturgill to fire on off and bring us to green flag. We are on the loud pedal here, Carson. We're green flag racing here for playoff race number 3. As we do have our stage caution, I believe, on lap number 20, I want to say tonight, Carson. So these drivers racing till that mark. But I think even with 20 laps, Carson, that may seem pretty short. I think some drivers will have to even save a little bit of tire to even get there at a decent pace. As the field starts to single file on out, looks like all the way to about 7th place. They're single filed out. Tommy Haynes with a big time slide off of turn number 4. Behind him, Brian Wilderson and Dave Payton are side by side. Further up front, Ron Hart making a move on Tanner Tallarico. Ron Hart trying to make that top side work here early. Looks like he'll get around that one car for second.
And Brett, what are the lines we're going to see tonight? I can see already a lot of drivers fanning out into different spots of the track.
Yeah, Carson, we'll see the turns 1 and 2 groove probably work its way up towards the wall. Either you run all the way at the bottom or run all the way on the wall, and probably all the way on the wall once the tires start fading. 3 and 4 will always be on the bottom, Carson, if you can get your car to stick down there.
Lots going to come into play for this playoff race, Brett. It's gonna make for an awesome one. We'll have to see what interesting things take place here tonight.
Yeah, Carson, it will be a good one to stay tuned to, because we're almost having a 3-wide battle here. Dan Parmley trying to get around Dave Payne, and Nathan Henry maybe just kissed the wall. And Carson, contact. Cars are around on the front stretch. There is the yellow. And it looks like we have some playoff drivers involved in that.
Dave Payne got absolutely rammed right in his rear end.
Yeah, we will have to check out what happened to bring out this first yellow flag. As a little bit further back, we have to go in the replay. As coming off of 2, Carson, looks like Nathan Henry gets in the wall, gets himself unstuck, but just came down a little bit too much for the 3 wide there. And Dave Payton and Dan Parmley in the grass, and Nathan Henry with a hard hit to the outside wall. So 3 playoff drivers, Carson, damaged from an early incident already here for race number 3.
Yeah, Brett, big contact. We'll have to see how that changes the strategy and what these drivers plan to do for the rest of the race. This could definitely shake up the standings here.
Yeah, that could, because that did involve our points leader, Dan Parmley, in the 710 machine. So we will have to see if this opens up the playoff picture. And Carson, do you think they were maybe pushing a little bit too hard there, racing 3 wide on lap number 5 of a 90-lap race? You got to wonder.
Yeah, Brett, you do got to wonder. I agree that it's too early probably to be doing that much. We've seen the aggression turned up here, though. We saw it last race, and you just got to be careful, because the more aggressive you are, the more chances there are you can make a mistake.
Yeah, that is. And Carson, you're right. We did see the aggression really ramp up last week. And it only seems like it's maybe continued on over as these playoffs are coming to an end. So we will have to see. As Carson, couple cars down pit road. Do you think they're topping off with fuel, it looks like, maybe?
Yeah, Brad. Were they the drivers involved in the wreck, or are they separate drivers?
No, we got a few separate drivers coming down pit road as well. So interesting. We'll have to see how that strategy pans on out.
What do we always say about dynamic tracks, Brett? Lots of strategy and a lot of different things going on.
Oh, yeah, and tonight is no different. As we are under caution number 1 of the night here, with contact between the 5938 and the 710 here to bring out yellow flag number 1. As I believe this time by Carson, we should see the lights get extinguished on the iRacing pace car, and that we do. So we'll double file them on up, Carson, and try and go back racing.
Brett, race control sent the 59 to the rear, so he was determined to be the cause of that incident.
Yeah, I think the 59 did claim the yellow, so good sportsmanship out of that camp. And yeah, he'll be starting at the tail end of the field. And I think already a lap down, so he's got to hope no one else goes a lap down before the stage break, and then he can get back at least on the lead lap.
Brett, so far we've seen some big movers here in the middle of the field, with the likes of John Sanu, Kyle Munson, and John DeMeester now up multiple spots here.
Yeah, some early movers, and like you said, Carson, Kyle Munson already up 8 positions here early in this race. A little bit of attrition there with that wreck, but still, he's looking pretty good here early. We'll have to see if he can keep on going through this field as the iRacing pace car heads down pit road here once again, and the restart falls in the hands of the 90 of Michael Sturgill. He got a great restart at the initial start. We'll see if he can get another good one here as Ron Hart times it pretty perfectly, Carson. It'll be a drag race into turn number 1. As we see the 051 machine go up high, he's going to try and build up that momentum, see if he can get a big run off of turn number 2 on the 90 machine. And one car sideways, Carson. That's the 86 of John Sanu. He gets the wall and up and over. We got a car on its lid, and do we get a yellow?
Oh boy, we might need the safety truck out there instantly.
Yeah. It looks like the tow truck did come out there instantly. He ended up back on his wheels, Carson. I think he could have maybe drove away, but no yellow, and the leaders are door banging here. Ron Hart to the inside of Michael Sturgill for the lead.
That's a wild flip, Brad. I've never seen a flip where the wall just barrels your car like that. You hit that wall perfectly just to launch him rolling.
Yeah, I thought he was going to keep it off of the wall, but as you see to the left, folks, that wall comes back to the right, and it looks like he just got the edge of it. And yeah, somehow flipped that 86 machine over. And Carson, more playoff implications as our points leader in the blue division probably has to retire after that. That only leaves John DeMeester, the only blue driver still running out on track. As these leaders, Carson, still side by side. These guys are racing hard. They want the stage win.
Yeah, Brad, and the more battling up at the front is going to open the door for more of these drivers. As you can see, the likes of Tanner Tallarico right there, and Eric Papanow also looking to make a move.
Yeah, they are all catching these leaders as they stay side by side. Ron Hart able to clear Sturgill, but now Sturgill will do the crossover to the 051 machine. These guys will keep on trading spots until someone behind can maybe throw their hat in the mix here. But Ron Hart will try and side draft Michael Sturgill. Looks like he will just get a little bit of tow, Carson. They'll go side by side here once again into turn number 1 as the field fans on out behind them, looking for some clean air.
And Brett, did the 051 get in the wall there? It looks like he's a little slow in 1 and 2.
Yeah, I think he kept it off, but I think he misjudged the corner arc, let's say, and really had to wait on the throttle, and that's just going to kill all your momentum if you're on the top side.
Well, Brett, then that was a really impressive job there to keep that off the wall. He was super close. He must have been within a foot there.
Yeah, I think he was as a single file back out here. Ronhart will once again go all the way to the top, try again, see if he can get that line going. As now Tanner Tallarico looks to the inside. This will be a battle for second. We'll see if Ronhart, he thought about it for a second, challenging for the lead. As he's able to clear the one car there. We single file back out here for a moment, but I don't think, Carson, it'll be for long.
No, Brett, as looks like Eric Papinow's riding way on the bottom, and then you got Tanner all the way up at the top of the track, and then and they almost meet in the middle there coming off. Here's an aggressive move from Tanner here. He's gonna try to shoot to the inside around Hart.
Yeah, Tanner Tallarico had a huge run off of turn number 2. Had to kind of make his own gap there with Eric Papinow to his inside, Ron Hart in front of him. But you saw Tanner Tallarico got loose on corner entry carrying that much speed, and that's probably going to not allow him to get around the 051. But a solid effort, and he'll put that in the memory bank and maybe save it for later.
And Brett, these two guys, Ron Hart and Tanner Tallarico, they're always fun to watch battle. We've seen some great battles out of those two over the years here at ASRC Sportsman Series.
That we have, Carson, and they are the first to go to the top side with each other, so probably no surprise there. These guys really good at searching on around, searching for that grip, and tonight will be no different for this pair. As Ron Hart, I think definitely got the wall there, Carson.
Yeah, Brad, it does seem like it, and it looks like Tanner will be able to probably clear him here coming into these turns.
Tanner will have to try and really get a fast-paced corner, let's say, slide up in front of Ron, and then hope the 51 machine doesn't get a big run and look to your inside by the time they get to turn number 3, and that looks like it will be the case. So Tanner Tallarico back up into second. We'll see if he can run down Michael Sturgill as Eric Papinow putting the pressure on the back bumper of the 051 machine. And Carson, Eric Papinow, only driver in the stage points as they run here, as the stage is starting to come to a close.
Yeah, Brad, if you would have told me that at the beginning of the race, I would have thought you were crazy. Only one of these playoff points drivers here, or one of these drivers in the playoffs here in the points, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, Carson, it was the case like that in practice where only Dan Parmley was in like the top 7 for the red and all playoff drivers. Now it's Eric Papinow taking over that role. He's the only one, like we were saying, in the stage points as they run, but now trying to get around Ron Hart. Hayden Swank has now joined in the battle, and he might even bring along Brian Wilderson. As Eric Papinow able to complete the pass on Ron Hart. Now Hayden Swank will try and work on the 051 machine. As Brian Wilderson looks all the way to the inside. Hayden Swank now to the inside of Ron Hart. Ron Hart now all the way up against the wall, Carson. He's getting that high line moving. And up front, battle for the race lead. Tanner Tallarico to the inside of Michael Sturgill. Doesn't get the run off at turn number 2. They single file back out. Hayden Swank also did get around the 051 machine. So Ron Hart, last car in the points as they run there in 5th. As Sturgill hard into the outside wall. Race leader in it hard. That'll open up the door. Eric Papanow will drive through. Tanner Tallarico checking up. He's going to be in the sucker hole, and Eric Papanow might win this stage now.
Oh, man, you hate to see that, Brett. We only had a few laps left until the end of the stage, and that's just a really bad break.
Yeah. Luckily, Sturgill will have time to bring that thing down and get... Oh, as Tanner Tallarico gets big time loose trying to jump out, maybe even get away from some side draft. But Tanner Tallarico trying to drive back to second, try and see if he can get this stage win here from Eric Papanow. Yeah, like I was saying, Sturgill will have time to get that car repaired, as we will have a stage caution here. You can spend some extra time trying to button it on up. But up front, they're battling hard for second, Carson. This race is wide open, and Ron Hart right back in the mix now.
And Brett, I don't think you can ever count out Ron Hart. He can just drive the wheels off that car.
Yeah, he can, Carson. Doesn't matter if it doesn't have any wheels or even rubber left on the tires. He'll still drive the wheels off anything you put him in.
Yep, we saw that last week, Brett. 28 hard into the wall.
Yeah, Kyle Munson into the wall hard. He checks up the field. They're going to be 4 wide at the line.
Wow, that was impressive that didn't bring out a caution right before we got our caution. That was almost an incident.
Yeah, that was very close to being something bad, as we will try and find a replay of it. As we see the 4 wide there after the stage ended. But Eric Papanow, Carson, gets the job done. He wins the stage. He gets 5 bonus points. That's going to help the 43 car in the playoff race.
Yeah, and this is what he needed to do here in this race. Second to last race, he knows this is his he knows he's got to start being aggressive and putting the pedal down now. And with Dan kind of struggling here tonight, he's doing exactly what he needs to try to have a chance to battle Dan for this championship. Those two are teammates, and now they're 1 and 2, Brett, here in the championship. We'll have to see.
Yeah, Carson, and I tell you what, it's going to be a wild one to see unfold, as I think, Carson, almost half the field has some sort of damage here at the end of stage number 1.
Yeah, things got pretty wild there. And Brett, like I was saying, we'll have to see between those two. Do you think we'll see anyone maybe door the other guy or get the other guy loose to move him out of the way if the championship comes down there at the last race of the season, excuse me? They are teammates, but that's a championship on the line, Brett. We'll have to see what if friendships get thrown out the window in the pursuit of a championship.
Yeah, I think it has to. If you're a true racer at heart, you know, it doesn't matter. You guys can be friends afterwards, but once those cars start up, those helmets go on, and you tighten those belts, Carson, it's you versus everyone out there on track.
Hey, Brett, but some racers never forget, though.
That is true. A lot of racers don't forget. As we see cars making it to their pit stalls, one car, Carson, sideways in their box, they're going to have to readjust. I think that might have been the 28 machine of Kyle Munson. As a race off of pit road, Carson, I think Tanner Tallarico won it. He beat Eric Papanow off of pit road. So it'll be Tanner, Eric, Hayden, Brian, and Tommy Haynes. Ron Hart, Carson, with a slow stop. Dan Parmley up quite a few spots.
And Brad, what do you think the strategy was there for the 710? Less tires, or did he just have a really fast stop?
I think, Carson, a lot of cars in front of him had to stay a little bit extra to repair some damage. And since he already repaired his damage during that first yellow, I think he was able to have a quicker stop just because he didn't have any damage to repair. Man, Brett, we've seen guys go up and down the standings here tonight.
we'll have to see. I'm sure we'll see more of it. We'll have to see who ends up where by the end of this thing. It should be wild because based on what we saw, anyone could end up anywhere.
Yep, Carson, all it takes is one mistake and your race is over, as we saw with even the 86 machine rolling down the backstretch. As the lights are extinguished on the iRacing pace car, we are going green flag racing next time by. As Carson, this restart, Tanner Tallarico will be the control car. Eric Pappen out to his outside. Hayden Swank in third. Brian Wilderson fourth. Tommy Haynes fifth. And now, Carson, with this reshuffle, the biggest mover of the race so far is the 27 machine of Lee Campbell.
And he could be looking at some nice move in the blue division points. As I don't know, Brett is he in the points for the blue division?
He is not in the championship race, but if he does finish the best of the blue division drivers, we get to interview him and talk to the driver of the 27 machine. As the iRacing pace cars down pit road, we'll wait for the one of Tanner Tallarico to fire on off. We got the green flag. They fire on off. We are back racing here at Auto Club. Looks like once again a pretty even start from the front row. Tanner Tallarico with about a half of a car advantage. We'll see how they fan out into turn number one. Ron Hart already jumping to the top side. As Eric Papineau sideways, he gets Hayden Swank. Some more damage and more drama for playoff drivers. As Hayden, hard contact to the inside wall as well, I believe. We'll check out what happened to the 35 machine.
I'm surprised no caution. Are we going to see one, or are we going to let this keep going?
I think we're going to let it keep going, as the wreck kind of happened outside or off the racing surface.
Off the racing line.
As we'll see if the 35, I think he did get a piece of the inside wall. And he did not, Carson. He got it wound up before, so the 35 only has right side damage, but way behind the pack here, so he will have to hope for a yellow. As now Tommy Haynes has drove up into second place and now making a move on Tanner Tallarico for the race lead. Tommy Haynes will clear Tanner Tallarico, new race leader, Carson. The 17 of Tommy Haynes. And Carson, I think the one car backing off his pace. He knows it's a long stage here to run.
And Brett, I've been impressed and like what I'm seeing tonight. A lot of different leaders. I don't think we've seen this many lead changes in a while. And we're only 25 odd laps in here.
Yep, it's Tanner Tallarico. Looks like going into tire saving mode already. He's dropping back here quickly. But Brian Wilderson, he's pushing with our race leader, Tommy Haynes. Brian Wilderson looks like he's going to try and lead a lap here soon. As he will dive down low, the 17 will stay up top. So a drag race for the lead position as they head into turn number one. They'll be door to door. As Tommy Haynes able to defend the lead, Ron Hart into second. Michael Sturgill trying to complete the pass here on Tanner Tallarico for fourth. A little bit further back, Dave Payne trying to work over Eric Papineau. As Tommy Haynes, Carson, kind of finding his stride, driving a little bit away from Brian Wilderson here. As Sturgill finally completes the pass on Tanner Tallarico, now the 90 machine will set its sights on the 051. And Carson, we're a third of the way done with the race. These guys driving like it, you know, it's a lot closer to the end.
Yeah, bro, we've seen some guys pushing, and to segue off that point, I think we'll have to watch for some of these tire-saving guys who are in the middle of the pack here. They'll probably save those tires, and we'll see them really pushing up at the front, challenging for the lead here in these last 10, I'd say in the last few laps of the race, last 10 laps or so.
Yeah, Carson, I agree. We'll definitely see these tires wear on out quickly because the Auto Club is another abrasive track similar to Atlanta, so these guys will have a handful of race car here in about a handful of laps.
And Brett, how are these drivers looking on fuel and tires for the rest of the race here? Is everyone going to have to come in?
Yeah, everyone will have to come in one more time here, Carson. And they have 3 sets of tires over the wall, so they already used 1. So now they'll have 2 more to use. So if we start getting quite a few cautions, you know, they got to kind of time them out and use them at the right time. As John Wimbish actually just passed the 27 machine of Lee Campbell. That was for the Blue Division lead. So now John Wimbish leading the Blue Division, also in front of Dan Parmley in that 710 machine with damage. Michael Sturgill has closed in on the 051 machine of Ron Hart. We'll see if Sturgill can make a move in these next couple laps. We'll ride in car with the 3 or the 90 machine of Sturgill and see what he's doing to catch this 051. And Carson, that Sturgill really makes up a lot of time in turn number 3. He can really jump on that throttle early and close up a lot on the 051. We'll see him lose a little bit of gap here in the corner, but he will get a big run off of turn number 2 and down the backstretch.
Yeah, and interestingly, Brad, looks like the 051 has changed his line from running up against the wall to running down low. Is that a product of not having anyone in front of him there, or is that just changing his line as the race goes on, as the track changes?
I think it's a little bit of changing your line as the track changes, as well as I think Ron Hart's doing a little bit of tire saving.
Yeah, I think that is a good call, especially with those leaders, with the gap that they have. You would only expect them to slowly come back to these guys here saving their tires.
Yeah, that is very true, Carson. As we saw Sturgill drive it in there deep, just get clear of Ron Hart on corner entry, but still can't quite get a good enough run. As Carson up front, Tommy Haynes still our race leader. he's kind of checked out in his own group with Brian Wilderson there in second. These guys still running 1, 2. Third is still Ron Hart, Michael Sturgill in fourth, Tanner Tallarico in fifth, but making a move on Sturgill here. Looks like Tanner Tallarico's tires are evening out with those guys around him. Probably getting better now.
Yeah, Brad, with the speed we've seen from that one car at the end of these races before in this series and the late model series, you never count Mr. Tallarico out. That one car is always fast at the end.
That is very true. He's always the master of keeping the same pace throughout a run. And he's the master of long pace. As he's able to get around Sturgill, he'll be moved up into P number 4. So far, the best of the championship drivers running, Carson, is the 710 of Dan Parmley. He's actually getting reeled in here a little bit by Lee Campbell and Eric Papanow. So we could have a battle for the red division win here. And Carson, I just checked with the race director, and if a red division driver doesn't finish in the top 3, Carson, we won't be talking to any of the red division drivers. So something else we'll have to keep in the back of our minds.
And I assume that would probably be an ASRC first there, Brett.
Yeah, I believe it will be.
So that would be crazy. Add another thing to what wild things have already taken place here tonight. Man, these playoffs, Brett, they make things crazy. That's for sure.
Yeah, they do.
They're definitely changing things up.
Yeah, they definitely do not disappoint. And it's only going to get crazier next week as we go to the season finale at Las Vegas. Nice. Phoenix International Speedway, as Tommy Haynes under fire here from Brian Wilderson. Brian Wilderson going low. This is the battle for the race lead here.
And now the 051 in the 1 car. They're watching away now. They want to see what's going on there. They know this might be their time to make up some good ground.
Yeah, and they want to see these leaders stay side by side for at least a lap or two. That way they can really reel them on in and make up a lot of ground, which they're doing right now. Brian Wilderson will be clear of Tommy Haynes, Carson, in 1 and 2. We'll see if the 17 gets a run off of turn number 2, and we'll cross him on over. It looks like he does have a run. They'll go side by side here once again for the race lead. Now Ron Hart about 3 car lengths back, and I think we'll have a little bit of lap traffic. As Brian Wilderson able to hang on to the lead. He'll lead that lap. New race leader, the 951 of Wilderson.
And Brett, what's Ron Hart gonna have to do here? Try to get around these guys. We're gonna have to see where he chooses to go and tries to make his move.
Yeah, if he can, he'll try and go low in 3 and 4. And 1 and 2, he can really go any place he wants. It looks like he might have better tires than these race leaders. The key will be not burning off his own stuff trying to get around these cars. As Tommy Haynes will have to maybe just feather the throttle on corner exit. Now Ron Hart will get pushed by Tanner Tallarico. He's to the inside of the 17 machine for second. Looks like Dan Parmley trying to make a move on Lee Campbell a little bit further back as well. Sorry, Dan Parmley on John Wimbish. as Ron Hart will try and does clear the 17 machine of Tommy Haynes. Now Tanner Tallarico looking to do the same on third place. Tanner Tallarico will have the draft from the two cars in front of him down the front stretch, but he'll be door to door with Haynes as they go into turn number 1. And it looks like the one car will clear the 17. He'll move up to third, and we'll see what he can do with our race leader and second place Ron Hart, as Ron Hart is about a car length back from the race lead here. As this time by, Carson, we see cross flags halfway down, halfway home here for playoff race number 3. As Tommy Haynes, Carson, with a little bit of draft right now, he's keeping up with Tanner Tallarico, so he'll have to make sure he doesn't lose the draft of these top 3, whatever he does.
Yeah, Brad, it looks like these 4 drivers here, they can all stay together. We might have a legitimate 4-car battle of guys that you could just throw a blanket on them. They might not be able to separate each other. It could stay like this till the end of the race here.
Yeah, as Ron Hart looking to make a move on Brian Wilderson. Ron Hart will go all the way to the top of the track. We'll see what kind of run he can get, as Tanner Tallarico will give him room to shoot out from the backside of the 951, which Ron Hart will do. They'll go side by side into turn number 3 here. Ron trying to make that Dunkin' Donuts machine stick to the bottom of this racetrack. He does a fairly good job, Carson. I don't think Wilderson will be able to clear him as they head to the start-finish line, as long as Ron Hart able to keep a nose on the 951 by the time they go into turn number 1, which he does. That would force Brian Wilderson to take the middle or the top lane.
Man, bro, we're seeing these leaders slicing and dicing. This is the aggression turned up, like we were saying, as Wilderson almost gets into the wall, and they're side by side going down the back.
Yeah, he was close going over those bumps. These cars really bounce around, dance around on you, even in the straightaways, with how bumpy this track is. So you have to give yourself almost a little extra cushion. But these leaders still side by side, Carson.
I think, Brett, this will be a 4-horse race. These guys are all staying together. They just cannot separate from each other, and I don't know, Brett. We'll have to see who comes out on top. It'll be whoever can time the last move right. That is an aggressive move from Ron Hart there. That might be the run he needs.
Yeah, they were very close to making contact
Wow.
there. Tanner Tallarico with a big run. 3 wide here into turn number 3.
Oh, and a huge run from Ron now.
Yeah, Ron Hart drove that thing in there deep. Wilderson kind of backed on off, looking to get a run off of turn number 2, but Ron Hart able to drive through the middle. He will lead this lap and take over the point.
Just like that, 2 aggressive moves, and we got 2 new drivers, 1 and 2.
That we do, Carson. Ron Hart now leads the way. Tanner Tallarico in second. Brian Wilderson in third. Tommy Haynes in fourth, still hanging on to this pack.
As Brett, looks like we got some drivers coming in the pits now. We'll have to see who pits the earliest and who decides to push it.
Yeah, Tanner Tallarico's in the wall. Same with Tommy Haynes.
Big incident.
Yeah. How did Tanner Tallarico hit the wall there? Wow, you don't see a mistake like that out from the 1 cars. We see Michael Sturgill getting up to speed here. He is the first one down pit road by a long shot, And we'll have to see how that damage affects the one.
Yeah, bro, we hardly ever see the one car make a mistake like that, and especially when he's pressing for the lead. That was very uncharacteristic there.
Yeah, and you got to wonder, did Ron Hart affect that race car for Tanner Tallarico? Tanner Tallarico maybe just lost the car a little bit.
But Brett, even with hitting the wall, it doesn't really seem like or it seems like you managed to avoid any big damage, and the car still seems to be running pretty fast.
Brian Wilderson gets the wall in front of him. Brian for sure got the wall there, but yeah, Carson,
Yeah.
It doesn't look like Tanner Tallarico has any right side damage, so he might be sitting halfway decent here, but Brian Wilderson will jump on board, and you can see that right front crinkle just a little, that flap now sitting open. And we'll see Michael Sturgill unlap himself the hard way with those fresh tires, Carson. He pitted as soon as that fuel window opened.
And now, Brett, he's maybe looking good because these leaders, we've all seen them hit the wall. So now these guys might be having to pit earlier. And if he outpits the leaders, he could have himself a good finish here.
Yeah, because you just see how much faster he is through the corners. I mean, that machine just sticking through these turns, and he'll make up a good amount of time, Carson, but you got to wonder how much fall off will that car has, as he has a lot of laps still left to go.
Yeah, Brad, I like the call there because if the leaders do have to pit earlier than expected with these wall hits, with him outpitting everyone, he could it could really have worked out well for him. He had nothing to lose and everything to gain with that call.
That he does, Carson. Not in the playoffs, out there chasing the wins. As the next closest battle on track, Carson, these guys still going at it. It's Dan Parmley in the 710, our championship leader, with John Wimbish, our current Blue Division leader of the race. These guys, I want to say, Carson, have been going at it for about 20 laps here, and one driver gets a little bit of advantage, stays out in front, then the other driver gets around and then stays out on front. These drivers cannot get separated from each other this whole entire run.
No, Brad, and like I've said, we've seen a lot of lead changes tonight. We've seen a lot of guys have runs and then fall off, so we'll have to see if these two at the front now can sustain their pace.
As we have another taker down pit road. It's the 27 machine of Lee Campbell. He is down pit road. And Carson, Tanner Tallarico charging back up to the race lead. He's about 2.5 car lengths back from Ron Hart. As that time by, the 951 machine of Brian Wilderson down pit road. I think this will now be the start of when drivers really start coming down pit road. This about splits the run in half. As if I'm Ron Hart, Carson, I'm pitting as soon as Tanner Tallarico gets around me. Once he makes the pass and completes the pass on me, I'm jumping down pit road to try and undercut him.
And Brett, we haven't really talked about him too much, but slowly and pretty quietly making his way up through the field into points now is the 710 of Dan Parmley into the top 5.
Yeah, we got a lot of pitters this time, Carson. Tommy Haynes, John Wimbish, and Eric Papanow all down pit road. Dave Payne with that early incident, Carson. He's back up in the top 5 right now.
Yeah, Brett, and now Dan Parmley's up to 3rd, so we'll have to see what these top 3, all these big names, will decide to do here. We'll have to see if anyone comes in here or if they keep pushing.
Yep, and a battle for the race lead is heating on up. Ron Hart getting heavy pressure from Tanner Tallarico. Tanner Tallarico trying to make a move in 1 and 2 there. Doesn't get the run off at 2. He'll reset up another run here and see if he can go for another attack. As Dan Parmley down pit road this time, so now only, I want to say, the top 5 just about. have not been down pit road. Everyone else has been. And once they cycle on through, Carson, Michael Sturgill will have about a 5-second lead, but a lot older tires. As Tanner Tallarico looks to the inside of the 051 machine of Ron Hart. And Tanner Tallarico wowing that car up, Carson. He's coming down pit road. Ron Hart maybe thought about it for a second. He will stay out there for another lap. Tanner Tallarico down pit road this time. Looks like Dave Payton will stay out on track. John DeMeester and Kyle Munson also down pit road.
And Brett, we'll have to see how this early pitting from the one car will affect the 051. I know you've been in this spot where the one car short pitted you here when he was trying to chase you down.
Yeah, Carson. I think Ron Hart will come in this time knowing that Tanner Tallarico is pitted, and that's what will happen. We see our race leader, Ron Hart, down pit road. But, Carson, the best bet to beat that one car is to undercut him. That's the best success I've had to beat him. So we'll have to see how the 051 does with the newer tires, but probably will be behind him. As Dave Payton will lead a lap, Carson, here, and he'll inherit the race lead here on lap 59.
Yeah, Brett, I was saying how the one car has undercut you before, and once that happens, good luck.
Exactly. It is very tough to get around him. He'll be a little slow here just to make sure he saves some tires for the later part of the run, but he will keep a awesome pace. As Dave Payton still out on track. Hayden Swank still out on track. Ron Hart rolling off of pit road. Tanner Tallarico at the start-finish line. We'll keep an eye on when Ron Hart comes out on track. He needs to at least come out in front of Brian Wilderson. He hopes he can get out in front of the one of Tanner Tallarico, but that does not look like it will be the case. They'll come out virtually side by side, door to door, but Tanner Tallarico will have the run. As that is the gap for a lap of older tires, right around a quarter of a second difference. As now Ron Hart will have to push a little bit, try and get back in the draft of the one car. The question is, if you're Tanner Tallarico, do you push hard now and try and keep the draft away from him, or do you save and try and keep those tires underneath you for as long as you can? As we have our race leader Dave Payne in on pit road.
And Brett, something to keep an eye on for a big points battle here. We got Dan Parmalee in the 710 and Eric Papanow in the 43. They are right next to each other, and they've been battling here these last few laps. We'll have to see how intense this gets, because they're friends, but they might leave it all out on the line here to try to get what points they can, because, man, they're setting themselves up for a great battle here in the championship race.
Yeah, and not only do they have to fight against themselves, Carson, they also got John Wimbish and Tommy Haynes right there as well.
These guys, I know they'll race each other hard. They're buddies, but the best buddies are also the best competitors. So we'll have to watch this battle. It should be a lot of fun between these two.
That it will be, Carson. As Hayden Swank is our current race leader, has not made it down pit road. The only driver that has not. Michael Sturgill with the way undercut is in second, but on older tires. Tanner Tallarico third, Ron Hart fourth, Brian Wilderson in fifth. And from there, we're looking at it live, the battle from 6th through 9th on track. As Eric Papanow really trying to get that inside line work, Carson, but Dan Parmalee just carries enough speed, just pinches him down enough where Eric Papanow can't get the runs off the corner that he would like. And that is now opening up the door for the 56 machine of John Wimbish.
Yeah, Brett.
And Hayden Swank still out there on old tires. Michael Sturgill breezes on by him. Sturgill will reclaim the race lead here, but Tanner Tallarico is running them down in a hurry. Ron Hart falling off a little bit from the pace of the one car. Looks like Tanner Tallarico says maybe it's a little bit more go time than save time. He's driving away from Ron Hart. As we look back at that battle here, 6th through 8th now, and they are all nose to tail here. Not a car length in between as we see John Wimbish get very sideways there off of turn number 4.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looked like John was going to have a big run, but never materialized, and now to get loose there, he's going to have to climb back. But we've seen it before when we got two drivers side by side. It's just a waiting game because as those guys battle, you got to wait for your moment, and then you can join the battle.
Yeah, you can, as we now look up front as well. Tanner Tallarico has made it to the back bumper of our leader, Michael Sturgill. Tanner Tallarico looking to make a move on the top side here into turn number 1. There is about 10 lap difference between these two tires, so Sturgill will probably give it all he has in those tires, but they probably won't be able to do much as Tanner Tallarico now door to door with the race leader heading into turn number 3. Tanner Tallarico able to clear Sturgill, but gets a little bit loose. This could open up the door for Sturgill if he does get a run, but Tanner Tallarico will lead with 25 to go, and it's going to be hard pressed to catch that one car, Carson.
Yeah, Brad, I think once he pitted before Ron there, it was going to be an uphill battle for the rest of the field. I think Ron's probably got the best chance to reel him in, but we're going to have to see. It would require Tanner to make a pretty unrealistic uncharacteristic, mistake on his part.
Yeah, as we see the battle for 7th heating on up, John Wimbish making a move on Eric Papanow. He's to the inside of the 43 as they head down the front stretch.
With those drivers battling in front of him, Brett, like I was saying, he was waiting to join them, and enough battling and wearing off the tires, and now he will clear just enough in front of Eric Papanow.
Yeah, he'll just slide up right in front of the nose. Eric Papanow with the same tires as the cars around him. You see Hayden Swank now getting past Eric Papanow, trying to make a move. John Wimbish 3 wide with Hayden Swank up top. Hayden, being the gentleman he is, gets up out of the way as they continue to battle, but looks like Wimbish will have the run here. He'll try and reel in Dan Parmley, But this is what Dan Parmley wants to see in his mirror, Carson. These two battling hard so he can try and drive away a little bit.
Yeah, Brad, he's hoping the 56 of John Wimbish can keep the 43 car of Eric Papanow at bay. Any more gap he can gain will help him, as every point matters, as we say in the playoffs. And if he can keep this lead here in the race over the 43, it'll only widen the gap in the points.
That it will, as Ron Hart completes the pass on Michael Sturgill going into turn number 1. So Ron Hart will slot into second here. He's about a second behind our race leader, and Carson kind of closing the gap a little bit. We might have another classic battle of Hart versus Tallarico here once again on with the Sportsman Series.
Yeah, Brad, I'm amazed Ron's been able to I'm losing my ability to talk there, but I'm amazed Ron's been able to reel Tanner in this fast. I thought for sure with the short pit in there, Tanner would have a much more dominant car, but Ron's pushing to get everything out of it. He knows his chance to make a run is now. He's got to get to the one as soon as possible to try to slow him down and make his move.
Well, as long as it's still about 10 to 15 to go, Carson, you still don't really have to worry about pushing all the way. Ron Hart does have a lap newer tires than Tanner Tallarico, and we did see Tanner pushing pretty hard to try and drive away from Ron, so maybe the 051 just has a lot of rubber left on those tires. But the key is he doesn't need to increase the pace more than he is now, so just keep on hitting those marks, and he's chipping away at the race lead.
I think, Brett, though, I think Ron knows how hard of a driver Tanner is to catch here with these runs at the end of the race. I think he knows he needs to try to get to him soon, and the more he can battle with him and slow him down, the better I think Ron will be to make a move and then keep Tanner behind him.
Yeah, as Eric Papinow once again putting the pressure on John Wimbish. We saw John be able to get around Eric. Now Eric's looking to get the spot back if he can. A guy with a tough night here, Carson Hurley. That is the 28 of Kyle Munson. We saw him get that wall hard, and it looks like that car down on power. He's battling with the Blue Deuce there for 11th on the Speedway. You hate to see it for our last season Blue Division champion.
Yeah, Brett, but I'm sure we'll see him back next year and competing again. We know how good of a tire saver and closer he is. I'm sure we'll see lots more top fives and late runs from that 28 car here for the next season.
Yeah, because we really saw him hit his stride last season in the playoffs. We'll have to hope to see that again from him next season. As Eric Papinow, still all over the bumper of the 56 machine, finally ducks out from underneath him. He'll have a slight run here going into turn number 1 on the inside of John Wimbish. As you hear the 43 gas on up early, he'll slide all the way to the outside wall. John Wimbish will do the crossover. He has a run on the 43 down the backstretch. John Wimbish drives it in there deep. He's able to clear, but now Papinow will get a nose to the outside. Will John Wimbish able to keep it down enough? He'll slide up in front of Eric Papinow. These guys duking it on out. And then right behind him, Hayden Swank is catching this battle on new tires. A little bit further up, Dan Parmley has reeled in the back bumper of Brian Wilderson. So this could be the battle for 4th, and it will be. Dan Parmley to the inside of the 951. Dan having an up and down race here. Started off with that contact in the first yellow. Got that car fairly decently fixed. Now back in the top 5, Carson. And trying to get 4th place here.
And Brett, I think he's had, if we've looked at cars throughout the whole race, I think he's had the cleanest overall car.
Who's that?
710. I haven't seen any damage on that car whatsoever.
What are you talking about? He got doored by Dave Payne in that initial wreck.
Well, oops. I mean, after that, then.
Yeah. I was going to say,
He's been clean, though. He hasn't. My point is that he's kept it off the wall in other cars, and he's been very clean.
I was going to say, I think. Has Ron Hart gotten the wall? I'm trying to think of who hasn't gotten in the wall, and I think that list is pretty short. As Ron Hart has closed in here on Tanner Tallarico, about a quarter second back here as they go down the backstretch. And Carson, how about the call from Michael Sturgill? Pits super early, and now he's back in the podium positions. He's running in 3rd. Let's see if he can hang on to this and see if he can get a podium. Would love to talk to the 90 machine after this race.
Yeah, I really like the call, Brad. I think he had, like I said, he had nothing to lose, everything to gain. He had some great pace early on in the race, just to outpit everyone. Hope that it can work out for you and you can keep your pace up, and he has. So that strategy has come into play nicely for him, and hopefully we can have him finish in the top three and talk to him.
As it looks like Eric Papineau fully cleared the 56 of John Wimbish, so Eric Papineau back into 6th. We'll see if he can set his sights on the 951 and reel in Brian Wildison. As our leaders, Carson, catching some more lap traffic here. This time it would be the 2 of John DeMeester. As I just heard over the radio, Carson, from the 1 crew, the driver complaining about the right front. He said, oh, there it goes. It just went. She's going to be hot for the rest of the race. So we'll have to see if the 1 car starts really dropping off a pace from here. As we see him trying to break the draft down the front straightaway, Ron Hart will, of course, follow him on around. He's just inside of the draft, so he will get a little bit of tow from the leader.
As Brett, there's only one man now who can challenge Tanner Tallarico for tonight's win, and that's Ron Hart. It looks like more than likely, I don't think anyone further back will have a chance to catch these guys unless they have an incident.
Yeah, that will be the case, Carson. As we look from the left rear of Tanner Tallarico, looking at Ron Hart trying to give chase here, and he's about even on lap times here, so they might be leveling on out here with 11 to go, coming to 10 laps to go.
Yeah, Brett, it looks like Ron is just losing a little ground on Tanner, but the guys are coming back to Mike Sturgill a little bit. I'm sure that that's too big of a gap to overcome, but the leaders are slowing down now as the race is winding down here in the last 10 laps or so.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Dan Parmley can catch Michael Sturgill about a second between them. And that would be for a podium spot. Dave Payne did get around Lee Campbell for 9th position. As we see Hayden Swank driving through this field here, trying to get his lap back the hard way here. He is the lucky dog as they run as well. As now Dave Payne working on the 17 of Tommy Haynes. I don't know what happened to the 17 machine, but Dave Payne caught him in a hurry, and that moves the 38 machine up into 8th. As we see 3rd place Michael Sturgill and a little bit of tow from Hayden Swank, so he's keeping about that second gap on the 710 machine of Dan Parmley. But up front, the gap is about the same, maybe closed up a little bit, about 0.4 of a second here between 1st and 2nd.
Yeah, bro, we'll have to see what the timing is as they cross the line this time by. It's staying about the same. So we will have to see how, if these lap cars here with Tanner will be able to give Ron a chance to make a run.
Yeah, we will have to see as that time by. They're virtually
Whoa.
identical as
Tanner split up in front of that lap car and really lost ground.
yeah, he definitely lost a lot of time there, so that will help out Ron Hart as he's able to close the gap now to about just under 0.3 of a second. As we will look at the time difference this time by, Ron Hart should be the faster lap there, and that he is.
Brett, this is the battle for 1 and 2 is looking like it's going to be one of the closest battles on the track here coming in to these last 5 laps.
Yep, that will be the case, Carson. Battle for the race lead.
And man, that is what you want to see in a playoff race. The closest battle being 1 and 2. That is awesome run between Tanner and Ron, and these guys always put on a show, and we're getting another one here tonight.
Yep, that we do. This time by, we see the open palm from the flagman. 5 laps to go around Auto Club. Tanner Tallarico able to drive away just a little bit that lap. That's what he'll need to do. He needs to just increase that gap another 10th or so, and Ron Hart will just be out of the draft down these straightaways. As we'll ride on board with Ron Hart, trying to wheel this car to catch the race lead and try and pick up the win. As you can see there, Tanner Tallarico able to just jump on the throttle just a little bit sooner than Ron Hart in 3 and 4, and that allows the one car to drive away just that little bit. That's enough down these long straightaways. You see Ron Hart jump all the way to the top side. He's going to try whatever he can do to figure out in these last 3 laps. As Carson, that seemed to work last time by. He made up a ton of time down that straightaway. I think we'll see the 051 up top in 1 and 2 these last couple laps, and looks like maybe even trying it here in 3 and 4. I think he'll want to be high in 1 and 2, Carson, and right on the bottom, just like Tanner Tallarico in 3 and 4. As we see popsicle sticks up in the air for the field, 2 laps to go. This is the closest battle on track. Ron Hart really sends it and right up against the wall and corner entry.
I think this is going to be the last chance for any drivers to switch positions. We'll have to see if Ron Hart can make the right move at the right time. It's going to be tough. That gap's pretty big, but he's got to see if Tanner makes a mistake, and he's got to make the most of that opportunity if it comes.
Yeah, he's got to hope Tanner Tallarico makes a mistake right here, gets a bad run off at turn number 4, and it kind of looks that way, Carson. He's 0.3 of a second back. Now he just needs a perfect 1 and 2 and try and get a big of a run as he can down the backstretch, and that's going to be his final shot as Ron Hart will do just that, Carson. We'll see what kind of run Ron Hart can get off at turn number 2 here. He will have a big run. It will be within 0.2 of a second by the time they lift, but not close enough. He'll be too far back. A few car lengths too far back as Ron Hart sends it on in there. He gets into the wall hard. That won't work. Tanner Tallarico will get the run off of turn number 4. And Tanner Tallarico will win playoff race number 3. Ron Hart gave it all. He will finish second. And how about Michael Sturgill hanging on to third place with that awesome strategy call?
Yeah, Brett. He had everything to gain, nothing to lose. And we will be interviewing him here tonight. And Ron Hart, he tried, Brett. I forget who it was, but he was driving that thing like it was a video game. He sent it in there full throttle, hoping that it would just find a way to turn.
Yep, he looked like Carl Edwards on Jimmy Johnson. As Dan Parmley is the highest finishing red division driver in 4th. Sadly, we will not be talking to him, but we'll be talking to John Wimbish, who wins the blue division in the 56 machine. As we now go to the 1 car to watch him burn it down on the front stretch. As Tanner Tallarico makes it to the 19th hole victory lane. And Carson, we'll go to commercial break. On the other side, we will interview these top drivers.
Realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Alrighty, folks, we are back here at Auto Club. We'll be talking with our Blue Division winner. That would be John Wimbish in the 56 machine. John, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, Brett, I got you, bud.
Alrighty, man. How was this 56 car? It looked like you and Eric Papinow could not get away from each other. You guys threw on a heck of a battle there, swapping back and forth.
Yeah, we had a heck of a race going on right there. My whole goal was to try to get around him for the finish there. So I'm happy with how it ran, but the car was real tight and just not to my liking too much. So I didn't do as good as I wanted to do. Looking to get a top 5, but we'll take 6th and take the points and go to the next one.
Yep, John. Not too bad with the 6th place with the top 5 that finished up there. Yeah, this car looked like a handful. It definitely looked tight on entry. A little loose at apex, and then especially tight off at turn number 4. That seemed to be the trickiest part of the track. Was that the case for the 56 as well?
Yeah, I'd say turn 4 was the hardest corner of all of them. You got in there, too hot, you're too tight, you get up to the wall. You could also, run yourself loose there. So there's a little fine line right there. Those guys in front of us, they had it down a little better than we did.
Alrighty, John. Well, congratulations on another Blue Division win. Before we let you go and celebrate it down in the Blue Division victory lane, I'll hand over the mic to you, and I'll let you thank who you got to thank for the 56 team here tonight.
I just want to thank the sponsors. I got Cheerwine on the car, autosbynelson.com. If you're looking for a vehicle, you check them out. Thank my teammate Tommy Haynes. He helped me a lot during practice and figured some things out here, so it made me faster. So appreciate that, and appreciate you guys being here, putting this on for us, and everybody in the league, I think, again, did a heck of a job tonight.
Alrighty, John. Well, awesome job by you in the 56 machine, coming home with another Blue Division win. I look forward to hopefully talking to you at the season finale. John, you have yourself a great rest of the night.
Definitely, you too. Thank you.
Alrighty, folks, that was our Blue Division winner, John Wimbish, in the 56 machine. Now we'll take a look and talk to our third place finisher. That would be the 90 machine of Michael Sturgill. Mike, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, I got you.
Alrighty, man. Welcome back to the Sportsman Series. How are these Xfinity cars?
You want my honest opinion of them?
I know they're dump trucks. You can just say that.
Yeah, they're just dumb trucks. That's why I usually don't run them.
Yeah, we saw you make some pretty heavy contact into the turn 4 wall. It seemed like that was the big struggle tonight. It seemed like if that front end took off, especially once you're in the throttle, you're just along for the ride. How much damage did you get from that wreck?
40 seconds. I don't know. It didn't seem to want to suck up to anyone after that. And so I tried to get really far off cycle and hope for a caution so I could maybe try something on fresh tires.
Yeah, we were all impressed how early you came down and took those tires. Yeah, like you said, to get off cycle, but it worked out pretty well for the 90 machine here with still picking up third with short pin. How much fuel did you have by the end of the race there?
Didn't look, but I think it was supposed to be somewhere around like a gallon left.
Nice, so cut it nice and close. How about your tires? Those had to be pretty worn out by the end of that. I'm impressed you held off Dan Parmley and the likes of those guys because they were charging on you pretty good, but it seemed like they evened out with about 10 to go or so.
Yeah, they seemed to even out, and when I came out, I was trying to save, and I actually figured it out there at the end, which, well, I mean, it helped me get third, but if I figured it out earlier, maybe we'd be talking a little later tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Mike. You know it's always hard to bet against you when you do decide to show up for an ASRC race. Always super quick pace, and you're always battling at the front with or without damage. It seems like so that says a lot from you as a driver. But before we let you go, Mike, I'll hand over the mic to you and who you got to thank for your third place finish here tonight.
Well, thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. That's one of the reasons I saw it was turn 3. I jumped on in. All the admins and everyone who's in the league. It's nice having long green flag runs, even though I wanted a caution. And everyone watching, including my girlfriend and my dad.
Yeah, Mike, glad to have you out here. We will be, in fact, renewed for next season. So if your Monday night's free on up, be sure to join us. We'd love to have you out here and see what you could do for a full championship push, because I bet that 90 machine would be moving and definitely a force to reckon with.
Will do. Thank you.
Alrighty, Mike, you have yourself a great rest of the night. Congrats again on the podium finish.
Thank you. You too.
Alrighty, folks, that was our third place finisher, Michael Sturgill. Now we'll talk to our runner-up finisher. That would be Ron Hart in the 051 machine. Ron, you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, Brett, got you.
Alrighty, Ron, how was that 051 machine? It looked like it was moving pretty good. You ran down Tanner Talrico, but it seemed like the tires just leveled off enough there at the end of the run.
Oh, man, Brett. For this type of big track, man, it worked out pretty good. You know, we saved some tires and didn't end up last on the end of the run, which normally happens. So, I mean, could have been worse for sure. Got a little bit aero tight, I think, behind Tanner. Moved to the top in 1 and 2 and was able to make a little bit of time, but just couldn't quite get back past him there.
Yeah, Ron. Yeah, for once a race where your right rear is probably not as smoking hot for once, so it was awesome to see you run through this field. We knew if you could keep those tires under it, you'd be a force to reckon with. But Ron, you got to wonder, do you think if you moved up sooner in 1 and 2, you think you could have gave Tanner a shot?
Maybe, man. I just don't have a lot of experience on these big tracks at the end of the race, actually moving forward. Usually I move back. I mean, I'll be honest, it's a little bit boring saving tires. I had a lot more fun last week at Atlanta driving it sideways for 20 laps, but I don't know. I don't know if I could have moved up. I tried the top in 3 and 4, and it hurt me. Top 1 and 2 was really good if you hit it just right. but if you missed it, I'm afraid you hit that fence. And I've learned that if you just even bump the fence, you're just done with damage. So proud to not have a stripe on it after 90 laps and to not get lapped. So we'll take it.
Yeah, Ron, heck of a job by you. I know you prefer the short track stuff, but nothing to laugh at here, especially with the competition we had to finish second and runner up to Tanner Tallarico, especially right on his bumper. Says a lot about some driving, Ron. So hopefully you can learn a few things in the off season, and we'll see you some more on some Monday nights. And I think you could be a real force to reckon with, especially with if we can recruit some more guys in here and really get a mixing on up front, let's say.
Yeah, it was good, man. It was a good field of cars. I mean, it'd be cool to have 30 of them, but we had a good race up front the first stage, and then it really goes into tire saving, And I wish we could race hard the whole time, and everybody's kind of settles in and cruises, and it makes for a long 90 laps sometimes trying to save tires. But I mean, that's the way you got to do it in real life and in the sim. So part of racing the big tracks for sure. I'd much rather, like you said, grip it and rip it around a little bull ring for 100 laps, not worry about saving tires, but this is part of the game up here in the big tracks.
Yep, that is very true, Ron. Well, before we let you go and celebrate this runner-up finish, I'll hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank for this 051 crew here tonight.
Just thanks to American Sim Racing for putting on this series, man. Monday and Wednesday is a lot of fun to come in here and run these caution-free races and have some respect and have to learn how to do different things. So I look forward to racing with you guys on Wednesday this week.
All righty, Ron. Well, best of luck to you there. And hopefully we'll see you for the season finale next Monday night. Ron, you have yourself a great rest of tonight.
Take it easy, Brett.
All righty, folks. That was our runner-up finisher, Ron Hart. Now we'll go down to our race leader, that being Tanner Tallarico in the one car. Tanner, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
What's up, buddy?
All righty, man. How was this one car, and how'd you do it, man? It seemed like that thing was on rails, and you got a little bit of pressure from Ron Hart there at the end. What was going through your mind those last 15 laps?
Yeah, it was some of the most fun I've had on here in a while. I don't get to run a lot of these Xfinity sportsman races like I used to, so whenever I can get on here and run, it's always a blast to have these races like that. But yeah, there at the end, I was joking around with Ron in the staging room, and we were talking. I knew as soon as I pit one lap before him, I was gonna have to really make sure that I was taking care of my tires that whole run there at the end. And basically, I came off pit road and knew that if I could get around him and kind of short pit him and do the leapfrog, if I could just get out front and get in clean air, and I knew I'd have to take care of my tires that whole entire time because he was gonna have. It doesn't sound like much, but that one lap advantage is huge. So I just took care of my tires, and when I knew that he was turning it up a little bit, I just told myself to make sure I was being smooth and hopefully it would work out. And it almost got away from me there at the end. He tried that Carl Edwards move, bouncing it off the wall in 3 and 4, and I thought he was going to get me there for a second. But we made it back. We made it back the 200, 300 yards, whatever it is, back to the line, and somehow pulled it off.
Yeah, I had to ask Ron. I said, Ron, do you think if you moved up in 1 and 2 sooner, you think you might have had a challenge with Tanner? He's like, man, I just wish I knew how to drive these cars on long runs.
Yeah, I mean, Ron he doesn't give himself enough credit. He's a lot better at tire saving than I think he gives himself credit for. And, the strategy was perfect for him tonight. Like I say, I think I probably pitted a little bit prematurely. He probably, I think, hit it a lot more on the bullseye from where he needed to pit there when we put it under green. But, yeah, Ron's a super talented racer in real life and on the sim, and it's always fun when you can go back and forth with a guy like that and put pressure on each other. And even earlier in the race, I mean, it was Ron and Mike and Dan and Eric and Hayden and all of us up there at one point. We're all up in the front, and I felt like you could throw a blanket over us. But that is what we get on here to do. That racing is amazing. That's what makes this fun. And all these guys in here should give themselves a lot of credit because this is phenomenal racing that we get in this series week in and out.
Awesome stuff there from Tanner Tallarico. But Tanner, one more question for you. Will we see you at the championship race next Monday night?
Not totally sure. Hopefully in some way or another. If I'm not racing, it'd be cool to maybe hop up with you one more time. That would be pretty cool. But not totally sure what's going to go on. Got some real life racing stuff going on this weekend, and depending on how that goes, that might dictate whether or not I hop on here on Monday night and work and other real life stuff. But if I'm able to race, I'll definitely do it. If something happens and I'm getting in at the last second, maybe I'll just have to jump up there in the booth with you again.
All right, so we'll put you down for a solid maybe on track, but maybe also in the booth. But before we let you go here, Tanner, and celebrate down in the ASRC victory lane, I'll hand over the mic and let you thank who you got to thank for this one crew.
Yeah, so tonight I wasn't sure if this was going to be the last time I got to run in the series or not before we close out these Xfinity cars and transfer over to the new ones. So I wanted to put a paint scheme on the car that we always had a good time with, and that's to our buddy Tim. He's in our thoughts. We miss him. RogersCars.com on the hood tonight. Then I had to throw the real life sponsors on there: Accurate Inspections, FLF Race Cars, Mike's Custom Garage and Speed Shop, Boardwalk Subs, Elif Brothers Roofing. Everybody on there, they help me out in the sim world and help me out even more in the real world. So it's cool to be able to pay back to them. Then you, Brett, all the Turn 3 guys for allowing you to do this. This is awesome that we're this deep into the season. We still got phenomenal broadcasts going week in and out. Everybody watching at home, all of our members back at ASRC, the whole admin team, everybody that makes this thing go around. And yeah, I guess maybe you'll see me on track next week, but if not, maybe I'll just jump up there in the booth. Sometimes being up there in the booth is even more fun than being on the track and holding the steering wheel. So I might just have to hop up there and hang out with you.
Oh yeah, Tanner, I have a blast every week up here in the booth. So Tanner, we'll be down to celebrate in victory lane with you after we wrap up in the booth. But you have yourself a good one. Go down there and party it on up.
Thanks, buddy. We'll see you later.
Alrighty, that was our race winner, Tanner Tallarico. Carson, you still there?
Yeah, Brett, I'm hanging on.
Alrighty, man. What'd you think of tonight? That was some good racing from playoff race number 3.
Yeah, Brett, it was exciting. We saw a lot of bumping and banging, a lot of wall smacking, and some guys even hitting it hard enough to go rolling. But I already gave props to Sturgill on that big time strategy call, and Ron for making it interesting there at the end with some with that video game like move. But overall, Tanner, he was awesome tonight. He always seems to find ways to close races like this, and he turned the wick up when he needed to there at the end and was just able to have enough room to hold off Ron.
Yep, and he adds another notch in the win column for the Sportsman Series. We'll go through the results here, starting with Tanner Tallarico in the 1, parking it in victory lane here. Ron Hart in the 051 finishes second. Michael Sturgill in the 90 machine shows up and finishes in the podium. Dan Parmley extends his points lead with a 4th place finish in the 710 machine. And rounding out the top 5, you got flying Brian Wilderson in the 951.
And to pick up from there, the best Blue Division finisher here tonight, and the big mover up 5 spots, it's the 56 car of John Wimbish finishing 6th. In 7th place, we've seen him a lot tonight. It was the 43 of Eric Papanow. In 8th place, it was the 38 car of David Payton. In 9th place, it was the 27 of Lee Campbell. And then to round out your top 10, a guy who we saw had some speed early, it was the 17 of Tommy Haynes.
Rounding out the field from there, Kyle Munson in the 28 machine finishes 11th. 12th goes to Hayden Swank in the 35. From there, 13th is John DeMeester, the best finishing blue driver in the playoffs in the Blue Deuce. 14th is John Sanu in the 86. 15th, Nathan Henry in the 59. And those who did not start was Andrew Payne and Jeff O'Quinn. Carson, another crazy one. It shakes up the Blue Division points as it grows closer between the two Johns, whereas Dan Parmley, I think, loses just a little bit of points to Eric Papanow. I want to say only like 2 points or so. So it closes up a little bit, but Dan Parmley just has to have a decent finish in this final round to keep it going. But anything can happen. We've seen it get wild, and the intensity's only cranking on up here as we go to the final round next week.
both Brett, both the divisions points, Brett, have closed up here tonight, as you're saying. So everyone keep an eye for next week. It's tightened up, and I think we could maybe see different drivers leading the points and taking home the championship. We'll have to see, but there's definitely potential that we could see some flip-flopping and having the guy who is leading right now not end up winning.
Yeah, that we really could, Carson. But be sure to tune in, same time, same place, next week for the season finale. Of course, we got to run through all of our sponsors. Thanks to all the ASRC sponsors that make this happen. Of course, got to thank the admins that put on the great show to make sure the drivers are running how they should be. Of course, the drivers out there on track for putting on the awesome racing action for us to commentate. Of course, Carson, thank you for being in the booth. Always appreciate you having you. Also, got to give a shout out to all the live viewers, all the replay viewers, and of course, we got Debbie Parmley and Dan the Man Fan Club hanging on out like always. Appreciate you, Debbie. And Carson, I am pumped up for next week.
Yeah, Brad, it was a pleasure being in the booth here with you tonight. I'm pumped up for next week. Everything's tightening up, and based on the excitement we saw and the aggression we saw in the last two races, I assume this last race is going to be the most wild one yet. Everyone, it's going to be a can't-miss slugfest for the championship. We will see you all next week.
Yep, we will see you next week for the championship. I've been Brett the Jet in the booth from the Turn 3 Racing Network. Be sure to check out Turn 3 Racing Network throughout the week for all your racing needs. We are broadcasting 6 days a week. Be sure to check us out and all the other broadcasters. Everyone have a good night, stay safe, and see you all next week. And remember, folks, just flew by you. Have a good one.
Thanks for watching, everyone.